Hey there, it's Leslie with Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and today I want to show you how I make my royal icing in my new mixer. I'm not really sure how you pronounce the name of this mixer. It's Ankarsrum, maybe? Anyway, my family gave this to me when my KitchenAid mixer died, and I absolutely love it, but there wasn't a lot of tutorials on how to make royal icing in this mixer, so I thought I would make one. All of the ingredients are listed on the video, but I'll also put them in the description below. So I started by adding some warm water and meringue powder, and I mixed it on high until it about doubled in size. And now I'm just going to pour in the vanilla and some lemon juice, and I'm making a double batch of royal icing here. It works just as well with a single batch. And I'm going to continue mixing on high until all of these ingredients are incorporated because I want it to maintain that frothy texture. Then I'll turn down the speed and add in the glycerin. You want to make sure it's food safe vegetable glycerin, and mix again at a high speed until the glycerin is incorporated. Then I'm going to add my powdered sugar while the mixer is actually still moving. So I'm going to turn it down to the lowest speed and slowly pour in my powdered sugar. I'm only going to add in half of the powdered sugar for this batch at this point. I'll add in another 2 pounds later. And I'll keep mixing at the lowest speed, and you need to move this roller arm thing to the middle once in a while so that you get the ingredients that seem to gather in the middle. And the scraper thing on the side is absolute genius. It really keeps the sides from getting caked up with royal icing or cookie dough or anything that you're making. But sometimes it starts to squeak, and then I need to actually push it in a little bit so that it doesn't make that noise. Now that my powdered sugar is incorporated, I'm going to add a half cup of light corn syrup, and I'll mix that until it's incorporated. I'm still mixing it on the lowest speed. And then I'll add in the last 2 pounds of powdered sugar. And because I'm making a double batch, the bowl gets pretty full, so I'm going to need to wait a minute before I add the rest of it in, otherwise it might overflow. I love having the open bowl so I can see what's going on and so that I can pour the ingredients in easily without the beater being in the way like with the KitchenAid. It's really a really great design, this mixer. It's also quieter than the KitchenAid and it's lighter, so it's not nearly as heavy to pick up and move around. And the scraper is starting to make that squeak, so you'll see me here just moving it slightly away from the wall so it's not scraping quite as nicely, but it also isn't making that awful squeak. So here I sped the video up. I did not speed up the mixer. The mixer is still at my lowest speed, but I didn't want you to have to watch the whole process. In order to get a stiff consistency, you have to actually mix this a lot longer than you would have with the KitchenAid, but it doesn't get overmixed and it does still make beautiful creamy icing. You just need to be a little patient and let it mix longer than you would think you would want to. And then I always add a little bit of white gel food coloring. I don't measure this, I just squeeze in a bit. So here it looks like we have soft peaks, so we're getting there. It's not quite where we want. So I'm just going to turn the mixer back on and let it keep mixing at a low speed until it reaches the consistency I'm looking for. If you want a really stiff consistency to start out with, I would add less water at the very beginning. So it's mixed for probably about 12 minutes or so, and my icing is definitely stiffer. It's more of what I'm looking for. Um, Again, I don't want really stiff icing. If I did, I would have started with less water at the beginning, but I'm looking for maybe a soft peak or a little bit stiffer than a soft peak so that I can use it for flooding and for details. This is not the icing I would use to make flowers or roses. I would stiffen it up with more powdered sugar if I were going to do that, or again, I would just start with less water at the beginning of the recipe. And so this is how you use this mixer, and it does make beautiful creamy royal icing, and there's hardly any air bubbles, so I totally recommend it. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. This recipe will work in any mixer. Thanks for watching.